So what'd you do? First of all, I got to get back to this plane going down.
Yeah.
We just skimmed over that, but I want to know what you get into when you're in Dubai.
Well, it wasn't in. You mean when the plane went down?
Yeah.
So I was.
What do you mean it went down? Did they announce, "Hey, strap up"?
No, it was really awful actually. But no, we were flying on a Pakistan International Airways flight from Peshawar, Pakistan, which is right. Peshawar, it looks like the spelling, and it's right on the Afghan border.
Yeah.
And it was the day that the bombing started in. Okay, so there you have it. Right, exactly.
Okay.
Right in there. So. Okay, so where are we here? Keep going to
Closer.
east.
East.
Peshawar. So go to Islamabad, and then you can see Islamabad is the capital, and Rawalpindi.
You see it?
No, I don't have my. I'm so blind, dude.
Okay.
I don't have my glasses on.
Islamabad, Pakistan. There it is.
Islamabad, Rawalpindi. So Rawalpindi is the tradition. Oh, and Peshawar is. You can see that right there.
Yeah.
It looks like Peshawar. I think if I can read it correctly, it's to the west.
Yeah.
And it's up in the mountains. So that is.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
what was
we
happening?
couldn't fly. So that was the night that the bombing campaign in Afghanistan started. And so I was flying. Well, I had nothing to do with it. I just happened to be in the area. So, but we had a very circuitous route, and we probably took off at, I don't know, 10 at night or something. And I think it's just a couple-hour flight under normal circumstances. But we had to fly. I don't think we could. We had to fly all the way around. We couldn't fly over Iran, I think, which is on of course
all this airspace stuff.
Right. We go out a little bit. So Iran is, of course, right on the other side of the Persian Gulf from the UAE. So Iran's right there, right? So
yeah, that's where you'd fly over Iran.
Right.
Sure.
So I think we had to come up through the Gulf of Oman. We had to fly straight south and then up in. Anyway, whatever. Okay. We were over the water at about 2:30 in the morning and on descent. So my guess would be, without knowing, because no one ever told me anything about what happened, but probably 20,000 feet, not wheels down, but, coming down. It felt like we ran into something. The plane just went up, bam, and then just dropped.
What?
And, out of nowhere. And something happened. Someone told me later, who worked for Airbus, that there was a bomb in the cargo hold. I don't know. All I know is the plane had a lot of trouble maintaining altitude after that, and would drop, and then they would gun the engines and kind of come up sideways and just basically porpoise around in the air for what seemed like about an hour. It was probably 8 minutes, but it was.
What?
I really have no perspective on what happened or how long it took, but it was very high drama, and everyone on the plane was convinced we were going to die, and people were.
I could see that.
I was sitting in first class with all the Gulf Arabs, in the robes and stuff, all smoking, because this was back when you could smoke on planes.
I mean, you have to at that point.
Oh, well, everyone's burning Marlboros. And then if you look back, the back of the plane, it was a huge plane, was all Pashtuns from Afghanistan and from, the Northwest Border Territories of Pakistan. Pashtuns, the dominant tribe in Afghanistan, and they were all going to work in the Gulf. And they're famously stoic and impressive people, supposedly related to Alexander the Great, but they're really interesting people, very interesting, and they're very emotionally controlled. And the plane is doing all this weird stuff in the air, and it's clear that we're not going to be able to land it. And I look back, and they're just sitting, staring straight ahead. And all the Gulf Arabs, with their headdresses and the Marlboros, who are much more Western, of course, they're flipping out. Whoa, going crazy. Anyway, ultimately, they tried to bring it in. We wind up sideways in the sand dune, and so the plane, one of the wings had partially detached, and there were flames or whatever. So I got off the plane. I opened the door actually myself and took the slide down with about 4 or 5 other Westerners who were on the plane.
What?
Yeah.
Into the desert?
Into the desert at night. And we got picked up within about, so we started, I thinking the plane's going to blow up. It didn't, but I thought it was because of the fire. And I just had this vision of being incinerated. And so I was wearing loafers exactly like these, running through the sand in these things. And we got picked up by a bus, a UAE army bus, and put on the bus. And it was like a hallucinogen. It was like kaleidoscopic, like these things are. You have no perspective on what the hell just happened.
There's no time to think about it.
You have no idea how to think about it, and even now, I'm not really sure. And it was, gosh, I can look it up because I have the date on my calendar. But anyway, it was like this week, 2001, and then they brought us to the Dubai airport and locked us in a room. It was only
What?
Yeah, it was so weird.
Why?
Because I think
See if you knew anything.
Here I am defending the protocol, but I think what happens when something bizarre happens, like a plane winds up sideways in a sand dune in the middle of the night, you're like, oh wait, everyone needs to be questioned.
Right.
And so we got locked in this, and
Even
then,
if it's just like I let somebody pack my bag.
that's
like,
exactly
oh, yeah,
right.
Who was that?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So then, ultimately, they put us on a BA flight to London. A British Airways flight to London. And when I got on the flight, I'll never forget this. It was me and another guy from the U.S. The captain was waiting for us as we walked on the plane, and he handed us each bottles of champagne and said, I heard you were on that flight. You're lucky to be alive. And that bottle of champagne is on my desk to this day.
You weren't drinking already then?
I was drinking hard.
Oh, you were?
I was drinking hard.
I wouldn't have got
And I got home. Actually, I got home and
I would have downed it right then.
And I gave up drinking and had a fourth child within a year.
Really?
Yes, it really changed my. But the point is, I've been going back to UAE since then, and I've never dived on the plane. I should, but I have just seen it become not just physically, more expansive, bigger, shinier, more obviously rich, which it has become, but I've seen it become much more like the United States once was.
Where you been and where you going? This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna go on a journey today. See what there's to see in this big world. We're exploring different places, seeing all different types of faces. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's you